Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Denise Richards has done her best to protect her daughters from the harsh truths in the world. Many of those harsh truths had to do with their father and Denise's ex-husband Charlie Sheen. And to protect their kids, Denise would often have to lie to them about him. It's not easy being a mom. We're seeing all that more on Denise's new reality show on Bravo, Denise Richards and Her Wild Things. Whether it's navigating a stolen car or trying to be supportive about a nose job, Denise does her best to be there for her girls. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum admitted that she did her best to hide Charlie's scandals from Sami Sheen and Lola Sheen. If I was at a school performance and he was supposed to show up, and I get a call, something happened, hospital, whatever, I'm not going to tell the kids the truth, she said. I lied and said Dad has to work. Some things were outrageously bad. I can't say that, she said. So I did lie, I sugarcoated, and I protected him. Like when Charlie called his daughters from jail on Christmas. She told them they needed to talk to him immediately as he would be busy later. These new admissions come after Denise shared how hard it was to discuss Charlie's HIV diagnosis to her girls when he suddenly went public about it without giving her a heads up. However, now that the girls are no older, they often get upset with her for omitting information about their famous dad, especially as they try to navigate their present relationship with him. Semi has a pretty rocky relationship with Charlie. She even said she'd literally rather do anything else than go to lunch with him. As for Lola, she's willing to give it a shot. She went to lunch with Denise and Charlie, and it went relatively well. Married from 2002 to 2006, the couple's relationship was marked by both passion and conflict. However, behind the publicized drama, their post-divorce life has often played out in an even more intriguing way. The most remarkable aspect of their relationship, especially post-divorce, is how their children have been caught in the crossfire. Richards, while navigating her own career and personal struggles, has become a crucial figure in protecting their children from the chaos that surrounds Sheen. According to some reports and various interviews, she was forced to step into a protective role, even resorting to lying to her children about their father to shield them from the harsh realities of his behavior. In this episode, we'll dive deep into the complex dynamics between Sheen, Richards, and their children, uncovering the intricate and sometimes painful decisions that have shaped their family life post-divorce. We'll explore the nature of Richards' protective actions, why she felt compelled to shield her children from the truth about their father, and how the lies became part of a larger narrative designed to safeguard their emotional well-being. The relationship between Charlie Sheen and Denise Richards began with all the fervor one would expect from a Hollywood romance. Sheen, known for his charismatic screen presence and his off-screen bad boy persona, seemed like a perfect match for Richards, a glamorous actress known for her roles in films like Wild Things and Starship Troopers. The couple's whirlwind romance culminated in marriage in 2002, a year after they met. Their marriage was, however, anything but ordinary. Sheen's infamous history with substance abuse, allegations of infidelity, and his erratic behavior quickly became a hallmark of their relationship. The media was quick to capture every detail, and as their marriage progressed, Richards often found herself at the center of a storm, constantly defending her choices and her husband's behavior. In 2004, the couple welcomed their first daughter, Sam, and 2 years later, another daughter, Lola, joined the family. These new additions to their lives were meant to bring joy and stability, but the turbulence of Sheen's behavior began to take its toll. He was arrested several times for various offenses, including accusations of domestic violence and substance abuse issues that led to his being placed in rehab. Amid this turmoil, Richards filed for divorce in 2005, citing irreconcilable differences. The divorce was finalized in 2006, but the separation didn't mark the end of their complicated relationship. Divorce can be a challenging experience for any family, But for high-profile figures like Sheen and Richards, it was magnified by public scrutiny. What seemed like a break from an abusive or toxic marriage was often overshadowed by the media's insistent coverage of Sheen's erratic behavior. While Richards appeared to move on with her career and personal life, Sheen's spiral into further chaos seemed to know no bounds. His ongoing publicized meltdowns and his later, infamous winning phase became a national spectacle. Yet, despite all this, Sheen remained a constant in his daughters' lives, albeit a problematic one. Richards, as a mother, found herself in an impossible position. She had to balance the love she felt for her children with the desire to protect them from the negative influences of their father. Sheen's behavior, even after their divorce, remained unpredictable. He would occasionally lash out at Richards in public, and his increasingly erratic lifestyle made it difficult for Richards to trust that he was emotionally stable enough to care for his daughters. Despite the instability, Richards made it clear that she would ensure that her daughters maintained a relationship with their father. However, that relationship was often shadowed by the painful reality of Sheen's behavior, and Richards found herself in a difficult balancing act between shielding her children from the worst of their father's behavior and still trying to preserve their bond with him. One of the most extraordinary aspects of this saga is Richards' decision to shield their daughters from the harsher realities of Sheen's actions. As reports have indicated, Richards sometimes felt compelled to tell her children outright lies in order to protect them emotionally. These lies were not malicious, but rather came from a place of love and the desire to protect them from the trauma of their father's actions. In 2011, when Sheen was going through his infamous public meltdown, Richards felt the need to protect their children from the media frenzy surrounding their father. The actor's bizarre behavior, which included outlandish interviews and erratic statements, was enough to create a sense of fear and confusion in anyone who followed his life closely, especially his young children. Richards reportedly told their daughters that Sheen was simply going through a difficult time, and that their father was a good person, despite the media's portrayal of him as a wild, unstable figure. This message, repeated over the years, was designed to shield them from the darker truths about Sheen's personal struggles, even though Richards herself had witnessed them firsthand. The lies were meant to protect the children's emotional health, ensuring they didn't internalize the turmoil surrounding their father's behavior. Richards wanted them to feel secure and loved, rather than burdened by the weight of their father's struggles. Sheen, despite his chaotic lifestyle, had moments of clarity and love for his children, but these were often overshadowed by his erratic behavior. Richards didn't want her daughters to be forced to grapple with the complexities of their father's public and private persona at a young age. The protection that Richards sought to provide for her children, however, came with its own set of complications. By lying about the nature of their father's behavior, she inadvertently created a barrier between the children and the truth. As the girls grew older, they inevitably began to witness the inconsistencies between their mother's protective stories and the reality of their father's actions. In 2014, when Sheen's public behavior became even more erratic and destructive, Richards took steps to limit his contact with their daughters. She knew that their relationship with their father could no longer remain unaffected by his actions. Richards' decision to limit Sheen's influence was not taken lightly, but it was clear that his behavior was affecting their daughters' mental and emotional health. While Sheen continued to express love for his children, his actions were often contradictory. At times, he seemed completely disconnected from reality, and his daughters found themselves confused about who their father really was. Despite Richards' best efforts to protect them, they still had to reconcile the image of a loving father with the reality of a man who seemed lost in his own personal turmoil. As of today, Richards and Sheen's relationship remains complicated but respectful. Sheen has expressed regret over his past mistakes, and Richards has continually emphasized the importance of her children's well-being. The lies that Richards once told to protect her daughters may have been necessary at the time, but they undoubtedly played a role in shaping their understanding of their father. For their daughters, Sam and Lola, the road to understanding their father and reconciling with his troubled past will likely be a long one. However, they have the love and support of their mother, who continues to shield them from the worst of the media's portrayals. And Sheen's this story is one of resilience, sacrifice, and the complexities of family dynamics in the face of public scrutiny. Denise Richards, despite the pressures and difficulties she faced, always sought to protect her children, even if that meant lying to them about their father. Her actions, though controversial, came from a place of love and the desire to shield them from the chaos of their father's life. In the end, it is this maternal instinct that has helped her children navigate the challenges of growing up in the shadow of one of Hollywood's most infamous stars. Charlie Sheen and Denise Richards' story, like many celebrity relationships, is a complicated mix of love, pain, and sacrifice. While Sheen's public persona remains that of a troubled, chaotic figure, Richards has always prioritized the emotional well-being of their children. The lies she told were a testament to her unwavering devotion to them, and her role as a protector, even in the face of her own difficulties, was crucial in ensuring they could navigate a life that was often anything but ordinary. For their daughters, the truth may eventually come out, but the love and protection that their mother provided will always remain the foundation upon which their lives were built. Please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos.